Alrighty guys, so quick how-to video to fix this extension cord. This does have 3 wires, so we have a white, a black, and a green. We are going to, this is where the wires split. As you guys know, extension cords are expensive as heck right now, so we're gonna go ahead and save this one. So I'm gonna cut right here and right here, and I'm gonna use a wire to splice this back just a little bit, and I'm going to expose these to put it together. I'll show you guys how I do that. I'm gonna be using my Milwaukee tools here to do this. So I've got a cutter down here at the bottom. I've just got strippers up here on the top. So I'm gonna cut right here. I'm gonna save as much of this as I can because only where it's cut and split is broke. So you'll see where I cut here. We're essentially just going to remove this part. We're going to take these 3 wires, we're gonna connect them this side to this side, so the 2 together. We're gonna electrical tape it, we're gonna seal it all up, make sure that it's nice and sturdy. The biggest thing here is to make sure that there's no loose connections and making sure that nothing's going to go loose. So whenever I do this with an extension cord, you run that risk because you no longer have one solid wire. But with the cost of extension cords, we're just gonna make sure that we do it right, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to expose these wires back a bit. Make sure that when you're cutting this, not to go through the second layer of wires, so that way you don't have any exposed wires in there. And pretty much we are going to just make it look like that. Okay, now I'm going to slice down this just a tiny bit. And I'll show you why we do this here in just a second. So I'll take and I'll cut just right down the side of that, just a little bit to pull this back. Okay, what that's gonna do is when we put our connectors on here, we're gonna be able to pull it out, put the connector down enough so that it's right alongside of that. So that way when we tape this up, it's gonna look and be pretty much all one size all the way through. You're hardly even gonna know that this has connectors in it. So now that I've gone ahead, cut back and stripped these, see how I've lined it right with the top? So our connector is gonna come down right about there. So pull down out the side, you can see what that looks like. Now, I'm going to take this side, make it look just like this. Boom, like that. So now that we've got both the matching sides, let's grab our connectors. So now you're going to take your connector and you are going to put it on there. Make sure that you twist these up so that you get a real nice tight connection between all your wires, and so that way when you put it in there into your connector, it fits real nice and it's easy to get on there just like that. So now we're gonna go ahead and crimp these on. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to the next side and we'll crimp the 2 together. And I'll show you how I tape them up. Just like so. So now, when we get right here, we're gonna trim just a tiny bit off the top so that all those connectors sit right along with that, you'll see. So now that I've got these connected, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my other side, get these twisted up, 3 together. Now, obviously we're gonna go light colors to light colors. So we're gonna go black to black, green to green, white to white, and we'll tape it up. Okay, so after you get those all connected, you should have something that looks a little like this. Depending on your application, it may vary. So now we're gonna go ahead and tuck the wires down and just test our fit. So you can see I cut that right about the perfect size. Now on the other side, same thing. Try and tuck all these wires in. Make it look nice, just like that. So we have a little split, it gets just a little bigger. You'll see on this side, and we're gonna tape it up. Use a decent amount of tape here, and make sure that you get a good enough grip on the extension cord, and you're gonna tape one side and you're pretty much gonna strap it to the other to get it to pull together, so that if there is tension, it's not gonna pull right here. It's gonna pull on the two outsides. Does that make sense? So I'll kind of show you here how I'm gonna start wrapping this. I start from one side, of course my electrical tape. I'm gonna start before the splice right there. I'm gonna come about here. And this first one isn't super important to get it all the way sealed. Make sure to keep your wrapping of your cords on well, because if you tape it up and it's not where you want it to be, then that's where it's gonna be. So just like this, pinch that, wrap it up, come all the way over to the other side, past where you made the slit, and now we're gonna go back the other way. So we're gonna go a tight, nice and tight pinch on this tape. We're gonna pull it as much as we can. Make sure you're not peeling the tape back over the way it was. But what this is gonna do, it's gonna create tape going both ways. So it's gonna help make a moisture-proof barrier inside for that connection that you just made, which when working with electrical, it's never a problem to keep moisture out. I'd rather be safe than sorry when working with electrical. So. And I'm not an electrician, I'm just cheap and I don't want to buy a new 100-foot extension cord. So something to do before you wrap this all the way up is to test and make sure that it works. After you're done with your taping job, it'll look a little something like this. So you can see right here, obviously it's a little bigger, that's where those 3 connectors are, but overall, the size is pretty much the same. So the reason why I like to do that is so then if you're walking around with this, pulling it, it gets caught on something, there's not really much for it to get caught on, like that right there. So I maybe wanna throw a little ring of electrical tape right there to make it all round, but so that way, you know, it's not prone to getting caught on stuff and be a problem. Now, if you really want to, you can take and you can tie your cord right here so that it never pulls on this and it would pull right here. All depends on what you want to do, but there's a quick, easy way to save yourself some money on a new extension cord. Hope you like this one, and we'll catch you on the next one.